Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum students. I hope all of you are fine and doing well at home. So students, if you remember in the lecture that we started in this week, we started chapter number 12, triangles and quadrilaterals. And in the previous lecture, I have explained you the properties of quadrilaterals. Okay, understand now. We are going to continue from the same chapter, that is chapter number 12, triangles and quadrilaterals. This topic belongs to geometry section and I am your math teacher, Miss Falaknas. So let's start. Okay, now what we are going to learn today is, as you know, that previously we have discussed the properties of different kinds of quadrilaterals, and in the homework I told you to learn all those properties. I hope all of you have learned those properties, because if you want to solve exercise number 12.2, so you should know or you should learn all the properties of different kinds of quadrilateral. This is important. Okay, in exercise number 12.2, we are going to do question number 3 today. Why we are not doing question number 1 and 2? Because question number 1 and 2 is fill in the blanks and true false, and that will be done by you. Okay, so that's why I'm going to start from question number 3. Now, this is the question number 3 from exercise number 12.2. Okay, this is your question number 3 from exercise number 12.2. Now, look at here. What is the question number 3? Find the elements. Okay, what you have to find it out here? Elements. Okay, find the elements marked by a letter in the figure given below. Okay, also give reasons to your answer. What does it mean? If you can see here, there are different elements here: a, b, c, p, and r. What you have to do, you have to find it out all these elements. Okay, you have to find out all these elements. Okay, but also you have to provide some reasons to your answers. Understand? If you remember exercise number 11.6, we have write according to supplementary angle, according to complementary angle, or according to vertical angle. Similarly, we are going to write it down here, the properties of different kinds of quadrilaterals here. That will be the reason for our answer. Understand? Okay, now let's start. How will you do? Okay, first what you have to find it out, you have to find out this A. But before starting anything, or before identifying, or before solving any question, you should identify the shape of the shape. Okay, you have to identify its this shape, means which kind of shape is this. It's a parallelogram, it's a rhombus, triangle, rectangle, or square, or trapezoid. Okay, first of all, you should know which type of shape is this, or what kind of quadrilateral is this. Okay, it's not a triangle because it's not a quadrilateral. You have to identify first which kind of quadrilateral is this, and then you will solve according to the properties of that specific quadrilateral. Okay, now let's start. First, we will write down the heading of solution. Okay, first you will write down the heading of solution, and next you will write down the shape, name of the shape. Okay, why, what is it? It is basically a parallelogram. Why it is a parallelogram? As you can see, opposite sides are parallel. Okay, opposite sides are parallel. So according to the definition of parallelogram, if opposite sides are parallel, so you will say that it's a parallelogram. Okay, so before solving the question, you have to write down the name of the shape, which is parallelogram. Okay, it is very important. You have to identify that specific shape. Okay, now after that, what you are going to find it out, this A element. Okay, now where is A? This is A. Okay, this is angle A. You have to find out the measurement of this angle A. As you can see here, this B is the consecutive angle of A. Similarly, 65 and A are two consecutive angles. And if we talk about C, so A and C are opposite angles, right? So all the angles are unknown, A, B, and C. Only the measurement of one angle is given, which is 65. So no problem, we can solve it according to the properties. So what is the first property of parallelogram? If you remember, any two consecutive angles, we are talking about here consecutive angles means this one and this one. So any two consecutive angles of parallelogram are always supplementary, means their sum will be equals to 180 degree. Understand? So what you will do here, you will write down here for a. Okay, you will write it down here for a. For a, what postulate will you write it down here? Any two consecutive angles of parallelogram are supplementary, means you have any two angles, just suppose 65 and a and b and c and this 65. So any two consecutive angles are supplementary, means if you will add them together, so their sum will be equals to 180 degree. So what you will write it down here, if you will add a into 65, okay, if you will add a into 65, the sum will be equals to 180 degrees. So you will write it down here, a plus 65. Okay, a plus 65, it will be equals to 180 degree. Understand? Now from this equation, what you will find it out here, a. So I know all of you know how to solve this one. What you will do here, you have plus 65. So you will shift it towards this side, means the right hand side. So if it is on left side plus 65, when you are moving it towards the right side, it will become minus 65. So in the next step, what you will write it down here, a, okay, a will be left only in the left side, then equals to 180 plus 65 था यहाँ आके minus 65. Okay, now a is equals to 180 minus 65. So when you will subtract 180, when you will subtract 65 from 180, what you will get, you will get 115. So the measurement of angle a, okay, measurement of angle a is 115. So you will write it down here, your a is now equals to 115, and you know this angle is equals to 65. Okay, now by the help of this postulate in which any two consecutive angles of parallelogram are supplementary, you will find it out that a is equals to 115. Now here you have the measurements of two angles. Now here this one is given to you, which is 65, and you have find it out there, your a is equals to 115. Now next you have to find it out angle b. Okay, now which is angle b? This one. Okay, this is angle b. So what you will do, you can apply this postulate as well, that any two consecutive angles means this one and this one are supplementary. But if you remember that another property of parallelogram says that opposite angles of parallelogram are congruent. Remember, opposite angles, so the opposite angle of b will be this 65. So according to the property of parallelogram is that opposite angles of parallelogram are congruent. Similarly, if we will talk about this c, so the opposite angle of this c will be this 115, or you can say the angle a. So if the measurement of opposite angle is 65, so B will also equals to 65. Why? Because opposite angles of a parallelogram are congruent, right? Similarly, C will be equals to 115. So what we will do, we will find it out B and C simultaneously. Similarly, we will write it down. Simply, we will write down the heading here for B and C, because it is now easier for us to find it out B and C. Why? Because both will be solved with the help of only one postulate, which says that opposite angles of parallelogram are congruent. So no need to write this property again and again, because you will find out b and c with the help of this property. So simply write it down here, opposite angles of parallelogram are congruent. Now the opposite angle of b will be this one. So if this angle is 65, so your b will also equals to 65. Okay, why? Because opposite angles are congruent. Congruent means equal, or you can say that same. Okay, congruent means equal or same. Understand? Now if we will talk about c, so what will be c equals to? Why? C is equals to 115. Why? Because opposite angles of parallelogram are congruent. So we will write it down here. Our angle C will be equals to 115 degree. Clear? Now, these are angles A, B, and C. Now, if we talk about P and R, okay, 1 minute, I will read all the things so it will be easier to now look at here. If we talk about this P and R, so P and R, what means, are they sides or are they angles? So if you look at here, P is written on this side, so means you have to find out the measurement of this side. Okay, it is not the angle, you have to find out measurement of this side. Similarly, where is R written? There, here you have R, means you have to find it out, you have to find out the measurement of this side. Understand? So if we remember the postulate of parallelogram regarding sides, so what it says, that it says that opposite sides of parallelogram are congruent, means the opposite side of P will be what? This one. Okay, so if the measurement of this side is 8 centimeters, so P will also equals to 8 centimeter. Similarly, the opposite side of R will be this one. So if this side is equals to 3 centimeters, so your R will also equals to 3 centimeter. But what reason will you provide? What reason you will provide? You will say that opposite sides of parallelogram are congruent. So for P and R, for P and R, you will write down the postulate here. Opposite sides. Okay, we are talking about here sides, not angles. Okay, we are not talking about here angles. We are talking about sides because P and R are sides here. So opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. Okay, if the sides are congruent, so P will be equals to 8 centimeter because the opposite side of P is this one, which is equals to 8 centimeter. The opposite side of R is this one, which is equals to 3 centimeters. So you will write it down here. R is equals to 3 centimeter. Clear? Now please tell me, is it clear? So that I will move on to the next question. And please tell me, is it okay? That's good. Okay, all of you are saying it is clear to all of you. Now I'm moving on to the next one. Now look at this one. Again, you have same question. Question number 3, which is find the element. Okay, just a minute. Find the elements marked by a letter in the figure given below. Again, you have to find it out the elements marked by a letter, and also you have to provide reasons to your answer. Understand? Now, look at here. What are different elements given to you? You have to find it out here: x, y, and z. So where is x, y, and z? These are small x, y, and z. So this is x. Okay, this is x, this is y, and this is z. Means you have to find it out the measurement of angle x, measurement of angle y, and measurement of angle z. Also you have to find it out, you have to find out a, b, and c. Now which is a, b, and c? A, this is a, so means you have to find out the measurement of this side, you have to find out the measurement of this side as well as this side. Understand? So let's start. But before starting anything, you should identify which shape is this. Now please write it down in the chat box. Which shape is this? Which kind of quadrilateral is this? Yes, Muhammad. Yes, no, Varisha, your answer is not right. Hamza, your answer is right. Anyone else? No, Marusha. Identify the shape. Hurry up. Yes, Shanti Kumari, you are right. Suhima, you are right. Yes. What about others? Where are other students? No, Onshir, your answer is not right. No, no. If you are, all of you are saying that it's a parallelogram, so please keep this in your mind that the opposite sides of parallelogram are parallel or opposite sides are equal. As you can see here, what you have, three sides here. You have A, B, and C. Okay, you have to find out A, B, C, and only one side is given, which is 6 centimeter. So it means all the sides are equal. So if all the sides are equal, so it is not a parallelogram. What it will be? It's a rhombus. Okay, it's a rhombus. Okay, it's a rhombus. Understand why it is not square? Because in square all the angles are 90 degree, and here the measurement of this angle is 155 degree. So that's why it's not a square and it is not a parallelogram. Why? Because the opposite sides of parallelogram are congruent. Here all the sides are congruent, so you will say that it's a rhombus. Understand? Now, just a minute. Now what you will do here, you will write down the heading here of solution. Okay, you will write down the heading of solution here. After that, you will first write down the name of the shape, which is a rhombus. Okay, name of the shape. Okay, now what is your name of the shape? Rhombus. Okay, your name of the shape is rhombus. Now what you have to do, first you will find it out angle x. Now how will you find it out the angle x? You will write down the here heading 4x. Now look at here, if you will remember the property. So what is the property? Any two consecutive angles of rhombus are congruent. Okay, any two consecutive angles of rhombus are congruent. Remember that, class? Do you remember that concept? Any two property, any two consecutive angles of rhombus are congruent. So what are the consecutive angle? If the angle x is this one, so consecutive angle of x will be y. This is also unknown. If you look at here, so the measurement of this consecutive angle is given. So what you will do, you will add these two angles together, and their sum should, oh sorry, any two consecutive angles of rhombus are supplementary. Okay, are supplementary. So what you will do, you will write it down the postulate here of, we'll write down the postulate here. Any two consecutive angles of rhombus are supplementary. Okay, supplementary, not congruent, supplementary. Okay, now the consecutive angle whose measurement is given is this one, which is 155. So what you will do, you will add x and 155, and then this will be equals to 180 degree. So you will write it down here, x degree plus 155 degree, which is equals to 180 degree. Now what you will do for this, simply 155 here you have plus 155, so you will shift it towards this side, means it will become minus 155. So in the next step you will write it down here, x is equals to 180 minus 155, and after subtracting 155 from 180 your answer will be 25. So it means the measurement of this angle will be 25, right? After that, what you have to find out, just a minute, just give me a minute. Because of that dialog box I have to stop the screen. I'm trying to start again. Now it's speaker. Now look at here. Now what you have to do, you have to find out the next angle, which is y and z. Now if you look very carefully on y and z, so where is y? Here you have y. Okay, the measurement of this angle is 25 now. Okay, now if you remember the concept or the postulate about the rhombus is that the opposite angles of rhombus are congruent. So the opposite angle of y is this one. So if this angle is 155, the measurement of this angle is 155. So y is also equals to 155. Okay, it will also equals to 155. If we talk about z, so the opposite angle of z is this one. So if this angle is 25 degree, so Z will also equals to 25 degree. Okay. Now the next question is what postulate you will provide here. You will write it down here. Opposite angles of rhombus are congruent. So you will write down the heading here for Y and Z, and then you will write opposite angles of rhombus are congruent, and simply you will write it down. Your Y is now equals to 155 and Z is equals to 25 degree. Okay, now if we talk about the sides A, B, and C, A, B, and C, as you have already identified that this is a rhombus. So if you talk about the postulate about the sides, so what it says that all the sides of a rhombus are congruent. Means if the measurement of this side is 6 centimeter, so the all sides will also equals to 6 centimeter. For the sides A, B, and C, you will write down the postulate. All the sides of a rhombus are congruent. All the sides. Okay. Now, if A one side is equals to 6 centimeters, so A will also equals to 6 centimeter. B will also equals to 6 centimeter, and C will also equals to 1 6. C will also equals to 6 centimeter. Okay, all the sides are equals to 6 centimeter. Right. Now, move on to the next one. Now look at here, what question is this? Find the elements marked by a letter in the figure given below. Also give reasons to your answer. Okay, the same question, but you have to find out here L, M, N, A, and B. But before starting, you have to identify the shape of kind of quadrilateral. So which kind of quadrilateral is this? This is very simple. This is very simple. Yes. Hurry up. Yes, all of you, Shanti Kumari, Hibal, Varisha, Suhema. Yes, you are right. Mohammed Hamzan Jum. Yes, this is what all of you are giving the right answer. Very simple. Basically, the name of this shape is, yes, right. Now, the name of this shape is basically rectangle. Okay, now please remember all the postulates of rectangle. So means here you have to find out, here you have to find out L, M, and A, and B. Now which is L? This is L, means you have to find out angle L. This is M, which is also an angle, and this is N, which is an also angle. But if you look at about at this one, so the measurement of this angle is 90 degree. Understand? Now what are A and B? This one, this is A, which is a side. Okay, this is B, which is again a side. So if you remember the postulate or the postulate of or properties of rectangle, so what it says that all the angles of rectangle are right angle. Okay, so for L, M, and N, means you will simultaneously find out L, M, and N, because you will simply apply one reason here. Okay, so no need to write it down for L, for M, for N. Yes, Muhammad Hamza Anjum, you are right. What postulate you will write here? All the angles of a rectangle are right angles. Okay, all the angles of a rectangle are right angles, means all the angles will be equals to 90 degree. The measurement of L, M, and N will be equals to 90 degree. So you will write it down. L is equals to 90 degree, M is equals to 90 degree, N is also equals to 90 degree. Right. Now next is about sides for A and B. This is very simple. Why? Because opposite sides of a rectangle are congruent. So if this side is 7 centimeters, so this A will also equals to 7 centimeter. Similarly, if we talk about this B side, so if the opposite side of B is 3 centimeters, so your B is also equals to 3 centimeter. So what postulate will you write here? Simply you will write opposite sides of a rectangle are congruent. Opposite sides of a rectangle are congruent. Okay, and you will write it down here. A is equals to 7 centimeter, B is equals to 3 centimeter. Right? Understand? Clear? Now, move on to this question, exercise number 12.2 again, and the question is same. And what you have to find it out here again, different elements. Now, what elements are here that you have to find out? This one, P, Q, and R, A, B, and C. Okay, P, Q, R, and A, B, and C. But before that, you have to identify which shape is this. Yes, yes, very good, very good. All of you are giving right answer. Yes, you said Amiram, Hibal, and everyone. So you will write it down here, solution heading. First, you will write down the heading of solution here. Then you will write it down the name of the shape square. Now, what are P, Q, R? This is P, means this is the angle P, this is angle Q, and this is angle R. So P, Q, R, and the measurement of one angle is here 90 degree. Okay, now please tell me P, Q, and R. P, Q, and R. What it will be? All angles will be? I'm talking about angles P, Q, and R. Yes, yes, Hibal, Miram, all angles are right angles. So for P, Q, and R, you will write down here all the angles of a square are right angles. All the angles of a square are right angle. All the angles of a square are right angle. Yes, okay. So what you will say, you will write down here AP is equals to 90 degree, Q is equals to 90 degree, as well as R will also equals to 90 degree. If I'm going to talk about the A, B, and C, so which is A? This is side A, this is side B, and this is side C, and the measurement of one side is 5 centimeter. Measurement of this side is 5 centimeter, right? So all the sides will also equals to 5 centimeter. Just a minute. I'm sharing it again because of that dialog box. Okay. Now, for you will write down for A, B, and C, all the sides of a square are congruent. All the sides of a square are congruent. Then you will write it down here. A is equals to 5 centimeter. B is equals to 5 centimeter, and C is equals to 5 centimeter as well. All the sides are equal. So you will say that all sides are equals to 5 centimeter. Yes, Miram. Yes, Yusera. Yes, Miram and Marusha. Yes, Hibar. All of you are giving the right answer. Now, move on to the last one. This one. Here, what you have to find out, only element X, Y, and Z. Now, which is X? This one is X, this is Y, and this is Z. Means only you have to find out here angles, no sides. Okay, no sides you have to find out. You simply have to find out angle here. But before that, you have to identify which kind of quadrilateral is this. Please write it down in the chat box. Which kind of quadrilateral is this? Write it down. Yes, everyone are giving right answer. Meera, Marusha, Suhema, Madam Zanjum, Marusha, Fariza, Shanti, Kumari. Okay, so what you will do, first of all, before starting, you will write down the heading of solution. Then you will write down the name of the shape. Now, what is your name of the shape here? This is basically a trapezoid. What is it? It's a trapezoid. Okay. Now, what you have to do, you have to find out first X, then Y, and then Z. Okay. If you remember the postulates, now look at here. This is X and this is Y. If we talk about the consecutive angles, okay, if we will talk about the consecutive angles of trapezoid, so please keep in your mind that consecutive angles of trapezoid are congruent. Okay, consecutive angles of trapezoid are congruent, and opposite angles of trapezoid are supplementary. Okay, opposite angles are supplementary means it is the reverse of parallelogram and rhombus. Okay, it is the reverse of the properties of parallelogram and rhombus. So opposite sides, if we talk about the opposite sides, so they are congruent. So the opposite sides measurement is given, which is 110 degree. So what you will do, you will add x into 110 degree, and then the sum will be equals to 180 degree. So for x, what postulate will you write here? You will write opposite angles of trapezoid are supplementary. Okay, opposite angles of trapezoid are supplementary, right? Clear? So what you will do, simply you will write it down, x plus 110 degree is equals to 180 degree. X plus 110 degrees equals to 180 degree. So simply you will subtract this 110 from 180. So 180 minus 110, answer will be equals to 70 degree. Answer will be equals to 70 degree, right? Clear? Yes, Parusha. So for x, what you have find it out, that x is equals to 70 degree. Okay, now next you have to find out y and z. If we talk about this one, this is y. Okay, and the opposite angle of this is z. So what you will do, you will solve y according to the consecutive angle, because if you remember in trapezoid, any two consecutive angles of trapezoid are congruent. Okay, any two consecutive, oh sorry, not any two consecutive angles, base angles. If we talk about the base angle, if you remember the basis of the trapezoid, this one and this one, the parallel side is called as the basis of trapezoid. Okay, so the base angles of a trapezoid are congruent. So for y and z, you will write it down here, base angles of trapezoid are congruent. Now base angle, this is y, so the base angle will be this x, z, and this one. So if the measurement of x is equals to 70 degrees, so your y will also equals to 70 degree. Similarly, if z is equal, the base angle here of z is 110 degree, so z will also equals to 110 degree, means base angles of trapezoid are congruent. Okay, y is equals to 70 degree and z is equals to 110 degree. Clear? Base angles. Yes, Marusha, you said yes, you are giving the right answer. Yes, all of you are giving the right answer. Now this is the end of the lecture. Okay, I'm going to end your lecture here, and I hope all of the things are clear to you. But again, I'm repeating, you have to memorize all these properties, and you have to know how to identify the shape as well. Understand? If you have parallelogram and if you have rhombus, so how will you identify it? In rhombus all the sides are equal, and in parallelogram opposite sides are equal. Okay, now this is the end of the lecture. Now we are moving to the question answer session. Fill in the blanks. Any two consecutive angles of rhombus are dash. Write down the answer. Yeah. Any two consecutive angles of rhombus are dash. Just a minute. One minute. Now I'm checking your answer. Yes, all of you are giving the right answer or supplementary, right? Now move on to this one. Base angles of trapezoids are dash. Base angles of trapezoids are dash. I'm checking your answer. Yes, base angles of trapezoid are congruent. Base angles of trapezoid are congruent. Right. Okay, just a minute. Just give me a minute. Now move on to the next one. Now solve this one. Now give me the answer of this one. Till then, I'm taking your attendance. So please do not go anywhere. Just give me a minute. No, I'm done with attendance. I'm checking your answer. What is your answer? Opposite sides of parallelogram are equal or congruent. Yes, right answer. Now solve this one. All the angles of rectangle are dash angles. All the angles of rectangle are dash angles. All the angles of rectangle are, yes, Shantikumari, Varda, Hibal, Miram, Hamza, Pariza, equal angles, no, 90-degree angles, or you can say uh, right angles. Means you have to tell which type of angle is this, right angle, or you can say the 90-degree. Okay, right angle will be the right answer. Now move on to the next one. Opposite angles of trapezoid are dash. Opposite angles of trapezoid are dash. Opposite angles of trapezoid are, yes, and Fahim, right answer. Yes, Hibal, supplementary. The right answer is supplementary. Okay. Then opposite angles of parallelogram are dash. Opposite angles of parallelogram are dash. Opposite angles of parallelogram are congruent. Yes, right answer. Yes, and Hibal, you said, yes, you are giving the right answer. Okay, where are other students? Why, Naima, you are not replying? Naima, where are you, beta? Ajwa, Aisha Ijaz, Ehan, where are you, students? Yes, congruent. Right answer is congruent. Now, all the angles of a square are dash. All the angles of a square are dash. All the angles of a square are, yes, 90-degree. Right angles, yes, equal. Right answer. Yes, Shanti Kumari, your answer is right. Onshi, your answer is right. You said you can say that all the angles are congruent. Hadika, Hamdan, but where is Naima? Where is Aisha Ijaz? Why you are not replying? Aisha Ijaz, Hafsa Amir, hmm? Students, Kashan Shakil, where are you? Hmm? Okay, the answer is what you will say, that all the angles of a square are congruent, all the angles of a square are right angle, and all the angles of a square are 90-degree. So all of these answers are same. Yes. Now, this is the end of the lecture. If you have any question, please write it down in the chat box. 20 हो गए ना, time over हो गया. Now, if you have any question, please write it down in the chat box. Please, yes. Time limit नहीं है. Now, okay. If you have any question, just a minute. I'm checking it. Now I'm checking your answers. Just a minute.